Hey, Poopa Stars. Oh, ha, ha, ha. Child, this is episode 19. 19 big ones. Okay, 19 big ones. Ayo, 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 ayo. Y'all, hold on. Y'all make sure y'all scoot up in here, okay? Like a bumper car. Episode 19 loading right now. We just getting started. February the 4th. Let's get it. You put anything with two eyes. Yeah, still I stay. I ain't get credit. I ain't get credit. Yeah, she said, yeah, I said it. You don't like that I moved on, and I hate that for you. Find me a nigga that love me more than you did. That's what I call payback for you. Hey, yeah, 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 yeah. Hey, yeah, yeah. I say, hey, what's going on? She ate that. And I said, hey, yeah, yeah, yeah. Hey, yeah, yeah. So, hey. Yes, he thought I wouldn't practice what I preach, huh? She ate that. Ah, Cardi. Cardi was in her bag. Hmm. Her last album. Hmm. She got in her bag. So shout out to Cardi B and that. I love that song with her and Lizzo. She ate. She ate. Yeah, she ate that one little thing. Yeah, she ate that one little thing. So shout out to her and shout out to that. But anyway, y'all, it's your girl Shay Renee, and I want to welcome y'all back to my channel, back to a new show, back to a new episode. Y'all get in here. Guess what? I told his ass be careful with me. I guess he thought I wouldn't practice what I preach, huh? Oh my God. And I said, mm, 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 mm. She ate that, y'all. She ate that one little thing. ah, what she says? I'm trying to see how to. What's going on? I ain't never knew you. When I open my mouth, is it chew food? When it like it used to. She say, "What's happening?" Not having. Not grandma asking me passing. And acting. She say he wasn't mentally there, just acting. What's going on? I ain't never knew you. Y'all, Cardi B ate that. Oh, she ate that. Mm, Imagine having that mother effer in your back pocket. Child, anyway, it's your girl Sherry Day. Y'all scoot up, scoot up. We got a lot to discuss. Get in here. I guess they thought I would practice what I preach, huh? And I said, hey, 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 hey. I said, hey, what's going on? Nikki, y'all, Nikki is crazy. Talking about some fat Lizzo. Fat Lizzo. Girl. And I said, hey, yeah. Because what I was like, I said just what I was saying. Hey, y'all. It's Sugar Sherry Day, and I want to welcome everybody back to my channel. Oh my God. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. Happy Wednesday. It's Wednesday, right? I say it's Wednesday, right? Baby, them days be flowing and going. Entrepreneur style. Child, yeah. So let's see what the books have today. Child. First stop, YouTube. Let's get. Oh, child, today will be amazing. Okay. Period. Today gonna be through the roof. You know what I'm saying? Through the roof. We might get some really, 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 somebody might get some really great news today. And you know, how about that? So, shout out to that and shout out to you. Um, wow. You know, that's all I could say is wow. For real. And I'm sure all of us feel the same. You know, it's like, I can't explain it. I'm trying to think of a time like where we all know, you know, and yeah, something viral, but child, I can't even do it right now. It just is what it is. I'm not about to bust my brain for that. But you know, it's just like, it's like trying to get yourself ready, but then all of these distracting things is going on in the background. You know, if that makes sense. It's like, man, what? God. God. Hey, good morning. Hey, good morning. It's like you be wanting people to sit down, kind of like 21 Savage said. Man, if y'all don't go sit down somewhere. 21 crazy. He said that like a he said that like a real OG. Real OG, okay? Real OG. But anyway, y'all, so last night, yeah, like Diddy said, last night, couldn't even get an answer. And I'm sitting here, I want to curl up like a child. Yeah, like that. And last night, child, so last night before I went to bed, uh, oh yeah, that's why I almost lost my train of thought. But no, that's what I was doing. I was on that TO stuff. Hey, y'all make sure y'all scoot up in here like a bumper car. Hit the like. Okay, period. Yes, hit the like. I do it for the likes. Absolutely. So shout out to that. But like, no. Before I went to bed last night, um, speaking of going to bed and waking up and all of that, shout out to my bestie. Thank you, Lord. Um, I was looking at a bunch of Teofimo stuff, a bunch of it. I don't really know how to feel about a lot of this stuff going on, you know. Um, it's sad though, you know. A lot of the stuff going on is sad. I don't know a lot about T.O. at all. Okay, I just don't. Gotta keep it real. Gotta keep it real. So I don't know his character or none of that, but I will say that I told y'all, okay? I did. I told y'all. I tell y'all down there everything. It just is what it is. So hard to miss me, you know what I'm saying? Because I bring up a lot of stuff, you know, it is what it is. But I told y'all, he was acting weird to me. He was talking weird to me. It was giving Ryan Garcia, you know what I'm saying, all over again. It just is what it is. He was. Um, I don't, you know, it just is what it is. Did he do anything similar to Ryan Garcia? Who knows, okay? But it just, like, his conversation just gave a whole bunch, a lot of yin yang twins, okay? Mm. Yin yang in this thing. It just is what it is, child. That's what he gave, okay? You want the truth? You gotta be, you gotta be over here and love it with me. Baby, he just gave a bunch of goulash, you know, a bunch of goulash in the head. Or whatever. You know, and so he was saying all this all crazy stuff that I hadn't even realized that he was saying. He got hella disrespectful, you know, during a press conference and stuff like that. He started saying a lot of crazy stuff to Shakur. I just wasn't feeling it. And on top of all of that BS to make things even worse, okay? It's the way his daddy was talking to him in the ring, you know? I'm sure his dad hates, his daddy was talking about, you gonna hate yourself tomorrow. I think his dad hates himself too. You know, like, imagine that. You telling him he gonna hate himself and like you too. Imagine that. And another one, and another one, and another one bites the dust, you know. This is what it is, child. You too. Because he said some crazy stuff in that ring. You know, he did. Um, and make no excuses. None. You know, it is what it is. But honestly, I just feel like that is a good example of that's a good example of people being in positions that, you know, I'm gonna say they was never really meant to be in the first place. A lot of people were saying if they was him, they would fire him, fire his dad, fire his team. I would too. Get rid of him. Get rid of him. You know, it just is what it is. Because to me, like I said, that's a prime example of people shouldn't be in the position that they are in. You know what I'm saying? As a parent, he didn't know what to say to his son at a time like that. So don't even get me started on being a coach, child. He just failed, you know, horribly in the corner, you know, and it's just like, man, some things you just can't go back and do, you know. But I was listening to Andre Ward talk about it, and it was sad, you know, it really was. It was sad. Um, but yeah, that's what I was getting on before I went to sleep. Just lots of different things was popping up about him, and you know his fight with Shakur and stuff like that. It was crazy. Um, no, for real, cause it's like I get it. You know what I'm saying? I get it. Like you be wanting to see more from your fighter, but like he was just outclassed. He was outclassed and he was outboxed, you know, in the classiest white child. Do you hear me? And it's just like, man, his daddy didn't know what to do with that. You know, he didn't know what to do with that. Don't even let alone him, you know, but it's just a lot being said, you know, if that makes sense. But another thing too, can you listen? Some people right before their fights, hey y'all, hey, happy Wednesday. Welcome back to a new episode. Good morning, good morning, good morning. But um, that's all I'm trying to tell y'all. Some people be coming off as troubled. You know what I'm saying? You know, people be like, man, something was off. That's how I feel about him. And his actions leading up to this fight. Same thing with Tank. He remind me of Javante a lot. Um, but the daddy, man, the daddy sucked. He sucked, y'all. Monkey. Monkey now. He did. Real talk. He failed as a dad and as a trainer. You know, it just is what it is. It was so much more that he could have said. You know, as a dad and as a trainer. But you know, oh man, it was sad. It was really sad. Now, I will say this, hopefully. right? Hopefully, he was saying more than what was picked up on, and clipped and put out there for the masses. He better hope he did. Um, but it was sad. Overall, it was a sad thing to witness. But this is the thing, like, sometimes people be so shocked. I think the dad was just extremely shocked. And it be like that sometimes. I realize in the sport of boxing, yeah, mm-hmm, you can go in the ring a bad boy and come out just dumbfounded. Like, what was that? Christina's gone type ish. Because I don't care. I pay attention to a lot of things. And like the world of boxing, they were shocked too. And it's crazy that they was even shocked because it was too many predicaments leaning towards Shakur. T.O. was the underdog for sure. So if y'all all thought he was gonna get whooped, then like, I think it was the fashion. That's all it is. He gave that boy a old fashioned ass whooping, and made himself look really, really good. Like really, really, really good. And I think that's what everybody is so, you know, up in arms about. But like Crawford said, he said that Shakur surprised everybody else. He said Shakur didn't surprise him. And that I believe, you know, that I believe. Uh, Listen, they say Shakur be doing a lot of studying. They say he's a hell of a student when it comes to boxing. He really, really, really takes time to study the sport and stuff like that. And child, it seemed like, they didn't give him the opportunity to add that stuff up. Add it up and subtract it. It is what it is. And now, he coming for it. He coming forward and he really explosive. I mean, his game is sharp. It is. It's really sharp. Now it's not really explosive. It's not. You know what I'm saying? It's not like he ain't no Tank Davis. It just is what it is. He ain't finna sit there and slug it out with you. I like that. Yeah, shout out to him. Shout out to that. I like that. Nah, he like to do the hitting. I know that's right. He like to do all the hitting. Mm. And honestly, his performance reminded me of. I know that's right. Well, shout out to that. Welcome. Make sure you hit the like button. His performance reminded me so much of Crawford and Canelo. You know, like it was just like. Because a lot of people were saying that they thought this fight was going to be a draw. And I was thinking that too a little bit. Just because how boxing been doing lately. But Stevenson wasn't going for that. No. Remember how I told y'all sometimes they be leaving room? Nah, he didn't leave no room for them to try to steal that fight for T.O. or help T.O. out in any way. And I take it a step further. T.O. wasn't even helping himself like that. He wasn't. But I don't fault him. I don't. I think honestly, you can get in the ring with somebody and just really, really, really not be able to do nothing with them. For real. Yeah. No, for real. You can. Hold on, y'all. No, like I really believe that you can really get in the ring with somebody and not be able to do nothing with them. It just is what it is. You can literally be outboxed. And um, y'all know what? I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. Let me tell y'all this quick little story though. The last batch of Kool-Aid I made, my family said it needed more sugar. I like that. I like that. I do. I know it's strange, but in a strange way, it's like, okay, I did good then. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes it could just be too sweet. And like, if it's perfect, if they think it's perfect, then it's too sweet. For real, that's how I gauge it. So shout out to that. Nah, it is what it is. I'm getting older. We getting older. We don't need all that sugar. You know, you start to realize you don't need all that sugar. For real. So anyway, shout out to that. But like, no. Literally. You know what I'm saying? And like, I think that's what people be doing with Clarissa, but like, nah, it's a difference, you know? It's a difference. I think that's what Clarissa be wanting to do, you know, with some of these girls. But, you know, it's crazy though. But Shakur did give T.O. his card, you know. He was like, I made it look that way. A lot of y'all can't do that. So don't try this at home type stuff, you know? Which to me, like, it make a lot of sense because it's like Canelo, right? Like, of course, a lot of people gonna feel like they want to try Canelo now, but a lot of y'all still can't whoop Canelo. Like, don't play, you know? Unless your name is David Benavidez, you know what I'm saying? Like, just, that's it. But yes, y'all, that's what I was getting into before I went to sleep. Just a whole lot of that. A whole sauce got a lot of that. Sauce got a lot of that. Speaking of which, what else is going on? That's old. Hold on, y'all. I gotta get a picture of my handy dandy notes. Let me put y'all on a brief hold. Y'all make sure y'all hit the like button, okay? Scoot up in here and get comfortable. Hold on 1 second. There, I'm back. I'm already back. So shout out to that. Child, I said now, Nikki. Nikki, that's my girl. Speaking of Nicki Minaj, I did a video talking about Nikki. I did a video talking about Nikki, and one thing that I forgot to mention in the video, well, I didn't, yeah. Child, that's another story. Like, let me just say, yesterday, so I thought I did a video on Nicki Minaj, and then when I went looking for it, it was like, honestly, I think my phone did some glitching. You know, truth is, I do, because it was tripping. It was tripping. It was doing weird things right around that time, but so I thought I did a video, and then I went looking for it, and it wasn't there. Like, it was a small clip of everything I had said. You talking about frustrating? Child, that was frustrating. Especially because I was freestyling, you know, and sometimes when it's like that, it's hard to get that, you know, catch that vibe again. Like, it's hard to explain, y'all, but anyway, long story short, y'all, if y'all didn't check out my video about Nicki Minaj, go check it out, okay? I just feel like it was a really good take on everything. Because y'all know I got a saying. I like to say, what's going on with you? Okay, period. Like, sometimes people need to be pulled to the side, and you just gotta ask, okay? Um, it wasn't necessarily that vibe though, you know. It wasn't me asking what's going on. It was more like me thinking like this is, you know, I'm assuming that this is what's going on with Nikki right now, you know. So anyway, damn good video, damn good take on it. But and go check it out if you haven't already. But what I wanted to say about that video is I left out the fact that Ramir Satterwhite, the guy that sorry, I got distracted. I thought I saw something weird just a minute ago. The guy that is accusing Jay-Z of being his dad, okay? Is allegedly, possibly, seemingly still working behind the scenes, okay? Allegedly with Nicki. He actually he seemingly thanked Nicki Minaj and Trump, okay? And you know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking people just not paying attention. You know, like if we really pay attention, if we really lock in, um, there are seemingly some things going on, you know, behind the scenes. And sometimes you just gotta ask yourself, well, why? You know what I'm saying? Like Anthony Hamilton said, why? Oh, why? It just is what it is. Sometimes you just like literally gotta, you know. And so, um, the question, right, that I would ask myself, okay, is what? I'm still here. Y'all know I like to be high sometimes. So shout out to that. But the question I would ask myself, and I'm gonna ask this, and you know what I'm saying, let y'all think about it for a minute. Let it simmer for a minute, and I'm going to a quick little break. Quick. So shout out to that. I would just ask myself, like, why is Nicki doing all of this? Period. And then I'll use my common sense. You know, that's when my common sense kicks in with an answer. And it's like, well, clearly she's doing it for a reason, Miss Pressing Girl. You know, if that makes sense. That's it. You know, that's it. I don't have to go that deep into it. Like, you know, like those are my thoughts. It is what it is. Yeah, no, because it is what it is. Like, I'm smart enough to know that, like, this is a little bit more than I just don't like somebody. You know? No, let's talk about it. Truth is, I feel like Jay-Z and Nicki Minaj are past, like, just dislike towards one another, okay? No, I feel like they be doing things behind the scenes to one another, okay? Period. And it's like, my common sense tells me that's the outcome. You know, like what we see going on right now, that is, you know what I'm saying? Like when you like when other people get into it with, you know, it might be uh I don't know, a car window busted in the street, you know, this one called, that one called, might even call down there and you know, get you fired. You know, like people do things out of spite. You know, people do things behind the scenes. People do things to fight their battles, so to speak. Child, my common sense tells me that's what's going on. Okay, with Nicki and Jay-Z. What we are witnessing is their fallout. Okay, you know, just we're witnessing like up close the best we can. Okay, their fallout. You know, and just like a lot of other things, like that's not our business. It's not. It's not our business. Truth is, you know. And then I'll take it a step further. Let me just take it one more step further, period. Shout out to that, because y'all know how to. That's what I do. It's not my business and it's not my beef and drama. Does that make sense? And I know they don't always sound right, right? I know it don't, because sometimes we want to be on the side of what's right, you know, and sometimes, you know, you want to, you know, sometimes turning a blind eye doesn't always feel good, you know, even when it's necessary. Sometimes it just don't feel like the best thing to do, but ultimately, that's what, you know, I will be doing. That's what I will be doing, okay? I will tell y'all that right now. It ain't got nothing to do with me. It just is what it is. It's like going to court and letting people plead their case. It just is what it is. Like, we are listening to Nicki Minaj. Only Nicki's side. Nicki's side is the only side we got to go on, because Jay-Z tends to move differently. Okay? He's not loud. He's not vocal. Seemingly, he like to keep people guessing. And I'll take it a step further. Period. Let me take it a step further before I take a quick break real quick. I'm still here. I'm trying to figure out how I want to come at this and da-da-da-da-da, y'all. But listen. Have you ever saw somebody that was in the right? Have you ever saw somebody that was going through a situation that they were in the right, but somehow the people involved in the situations kind of spin the narrative to where it looked like they were wrong? Have y'all ever saw that before? Like some people, uh, some people literally have a way with that. And it's so sad because in society, it's always looked to make a person look bad. You know, it is what it is. So, like, this is a good example. Let's say I'm sitting behind somebody and I keep kicking their chair. You know what I'm saying? I keep kicking their chair, but nobody knows that I'm kicking their chair but that person. And then they get up and they snap, but they get in trouble for snapping. You know what I'm saying? So overall, it looks like they're primarily in the wrong, even though it's me for real. Society has a way of making a lot of people look like that. It makes them look like they're in the wrong when really it's the other way around. Oh yeah, truth is. And that's the vibe that I get. Does that make sense? Like, I'm not saying that Jay-Z is more so in the wrong than Nicki Minaj. But what I am saying is he allows her to do all the hooting and hollering, making herself look away. You know? I'm just saying. I'm just saying. You know, I haven't been able to get that down. You know, but it's a science to that. Like, people really do that day in, day out, day in, day out. And it's like all they do is just maintain this level of being quiet, but doing stuff. You know what I'm saying? It's like picking. That's what I consider picking. People do that. But the minute you say something, it's see, you see, nobody's doing nothing to her. Man, listen, it's a science. It is a science to that type of thing. And I have not been able to figure it out, y'all. Period. I ain't been able to figure that one out just yet. You know what I'm saying? But I definitely, I see it when it's happening, you know, and I understand it, and I'm able to acknowledge it. But do it myself, no. You know what I'm saying? I haven't been able to um do that one. You know what I'm saying? But child, it's an art to that. Okay, it's an art to that. And just because people have that down pat, it don't always give them the W. You know, it don't. I'm just putting it out there for whoever. You know, I need to put that out there for y'all. I got to put that out there. But anyway, Poopa Stars, it's your girl Shay Renee. I'm going to take a brief break, real quick. I'm gonna put y'all on a brief hold, and I'll be right back. Okay, so shout out to that. Yes, child. So anyway, happy Wednesday, everybody. This is episode 19. Um, Lord, I haven't even named it. Child, let's name it Touchdown. How about that? I like that, Touchdown. Cause yeah, I know it's messy, the mess of it all. But y'all know that allegedly that's Cardi B's son's nickname, her youngest boy. They allegedly have nicknamed him Touchdown, which is cute. That is so cute to me. TD, y'all know, you know what I'm saying? One thing about me, I will come with a whole different nickname. Yes, I love nicknaming people. So yeah, that's cute to me. I done already nicknamed it. I done made a nickname out of another nickname. They calling them Touchdown, we calling them TD. So shout out to that. But anyway, um, I know, y'all. I appreciate y'all being patient with me because I didn't restarted the dryer, child. I needed to, but anyway. Um, Child, Little Touchdown's dad. Okay. Who we all know is extremely busy. Shy been extremely busy on and off the field. uh, I know it's crazy. I just started thinking about something real quick though. Cause listen to this. Um, yes, real quick, child. So I saw a video of Cardi B performing, right? And it's old, y'all. It's real old. But the kicker is she was chilling with the Patriots. Like the Patriots owner was on the stage. You know what I'm saying? Like he was doing the most. You know, he was vibing and dancing and stuff as Cardi B was performing. In other words, I just can't help but wonder how long Stefan been like trying to talk to Cardi for real. You know? Now it's just like, you know, like, ma'am, like, did you do any, you know, like, cause I'm not saying that she was cheating, but like, you know, you can kinda, y'all know what I'm trying to say, you know what I'm saying? Like, in other words, I just wonder how long they been talking, you know, or being friendly, or being flirty. You know what I'm saying? You just never know. Just yeah, and I'm gonna leave it at that, especially because Especially because you got this other girl, right, that was viral yesterday saying that Stephon Diggs is the only person that we have ever known her to mess with, and there's something about like he was trying to talk to her for like 10 years. That's what she said. He been trying to like talk to her for like 10 years in her DM and stuff like that. And I can believe that. I can definitely believe that about Stephon Diggs. You know what I'm saying? Um, but you know, that comment alone told us everything we needed to know. You know what I'm saying? Especially if it's true, allegedly. You know, you know, somebody being flirty for years. You know, I don't know. It just ain't that far fetched. It's just definitely not that far fetched if I'm being real. And then somebody else was saying something about they wonder if it's Offset's favorite team still. See, I ain't know nothing about nothing. I don't know about all of that. And I'm not getting that deep into it. But I will say that Stephon has been all over the media right now. And I don't know. It seemed like he kind of like weighing on me a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, child. I think he kind of weighing me out. Because, like, I was actually, like, found myself, like, smiling and laughing with him as he talk and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Which, um, that's not normally what I do, you know. But Stephon don't really give people a lot to work with, and he has been lately. So that's good. You can tell he don't have like a lot of media training. He don't. Outside of the NFL. You know, it's clear as day. When he got tough, hard questions to answer, it's clear as day the NFL helped him, you know, rehearse those answers. But when he up there just freestyling, baby, that's exactly what he be doing, just freestyling, okay? And you can tell, but he finally started to come around a little bit with the media and answering way more questions about Cardi B. And I'm like, oh, Lord. It's happening, child. They making him more um, media friendly, if you will. And yeah, now he got all of this stuff to say about Cardi B, which I'm here for. They was asking him which what's his favorite song, and he basically said "WAP, child." He called it Paw though. He was like, you know, it's basically Paw backwards. He cried, but no, you know, it was a lot of little funny clips, you know, of him talking about Cardi. You know, like a whole lot of questions about Cardi and stuff. Even they was even asking him if he was gonna give Cardi a ring. I And I'm like, wow, but it happens. you know, I was gonna say like Cardi is still married. Okay, like let's start there. Cardi B is still married. Ugh. If I'm being real, she don't need a ring from Stefan. She don't. She don't need a promise ring, an engagement ring, a goddamn moon ring. I mean, none of it. Okay, none of it from Stefan. She really don't. Okay, she just. I'm telling you right now, she just really don't. Ugh. Truth is, and it's sad. It's a sad day, because it's like, what? Women always, want a ring, deserve a ring, need the ring, but nah, not in this situation. In this situation, I think so many people would tell Cardi to just relax, you know. In my stepfather voice, bitch, are you high? And I'm like, please don't. Just please, just not now, okay? Now is not the time. Uh, so all of you reporters, y'all, like, first of all, shout out to y'all and the fact that, like, y'all are in there, you know? I never thought about it until today, but maybe I need to get in there. So shout out to that. But no, seriously, like y'all be in there like swimwear. Will y'all find something else to do with these mics when y'all point them towards these people? Please and thank y'all. Cause I mean, like, this is crazy. Talking about get Steph, they asking Stephon about a ring for Cardi B. It's wild. But I will say this. I think they doing Cardi them like that because they got this baby. I'm assuming. And that's that old school. Um, that's that old school. Um, and shoot, there ain't nothing else to do but marry her. You know, um, vibe. Oh no, let's talk about it. Like older people feel like, you know, um, that's one thing that I do give credit to, with older people though. I do. I gotta give them credit. Um, Older people don't necessarily, how can I put it? Like they just don't be with the shits, if that makes sense. Like, for instance, a woman and a man